Hey guys, welcome in. Welcome to the Kaiju Kingdom presents Chronicles, Chronia. You know we're here. This is the high episode. Let's be real. Come on. I want to introduce my co-host, Chris, and our two guest hosts, Kyle from Kaijucanuck and Harold from the Figuremania show. Good morning and good evening, guys.
Good morning and good evening. Thank you for having us.
Yes, good evening. Glad to be back and glad to have brought a fellow Canadian with me this time.
Yeah, Canadian power, maple power.
Yes, that's right.
Go Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays. Yeah, exactly.
Go Leafs.
All right, guys.
I'm a Leaf guy. I'm a Leaf guy.
I'm a Dutch
You're a Maple
fan,
Leaf
man.
guy?
Yeah.
You're a Duck fan?
Yes.
Anything but a Dodger fan, man.
No.
All right.
I grew up in LA. No, I am not a Dodgers fan.
Oh.
Okay. Welcome in, guys. You know how
Thank
this
you.
works. We're here to talk about Hiya, and we brought the two biggest Hiya experts that I know on the face of the planet Earth. There's no better aside from people who work directly from Hiya. It's Harold and Kyle, the two champions of
thank you.
justice.
Oh,
Champions
man,
of Justice.
Champions of Justice. That's so cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I feel quite honored to be put into the same category as Harold, because when you were looking for somebody to do the high episode, I was like, oh, you got to do Harold. Harold's been in since the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Thank you.
And then you're like, oh, well, why don't you join us too? I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm happy to be here for morale, but Harold is our sensei, you know.
I mean, watching the streams, it's like, hell yeah, dude. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But-
yes, we are both partnered with Hiya, so we
Yes.
both have some.
We have the
insights.
same relationships with them and things, and they know us. They know that we do this and things. So like, we're trusted. Our opinions are trusted, to say the least. So yeah.
Yeah. I 100%. I mean, you guys, everything you guys say about Hiya makes me want to go out and wonder, like, why can't I just go to why can't I just go to my local Target and Walmart and pick up a Godzilla 2001 heat ray version? Like, I want this now. But I mean, we'll get into a little bit of history of Hiya. But before we start, I want to say Hiya is getting reach and getting a very good product in front of Godzilla fans.
Yes.
Who at a I want to say comfortable price point.
Mhm.
What you're getting, the product you're getting, the quality you're getting, I think is beautiful.
Mhm.
It has its place in its market. I mean, there's plenty that you can choose from, but I think Hiya is doing a really good job of what they're doing.
Okay. Without a doubt. Yeah.
I can't say a bad thing about Hiya, just like I can't say a bad thing about Playmates or about Super 7 or anything. They're all great products.
Mhm.
It just kind of, what do you like, peanut butter with chocolate or do you like peanut butter with jelly? It's really what you guys, you the consumer, are interested in.
Mhm.
But
What a refreshing take, Arian. What
Yes.
a refreshing take to have. Jeez.
I thought you were gonna say McDonald's or Burger King. So
well, some people don't know what McDonald's or Burger King is. Like, come on, everyone knows what McDonald's and Burger King is. Let's be real.
yes, I mean McDonald's and Burger King are both here in Taiwan. So like,
Oh,
people
come on,
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to start off the show with you guys and let you guys take the floor a little bit about a little bit of history of Hiya. Can you give us a little bit into what was, came before Hiya, who, the president of Hiya, anything that the average person wouldn't know about Hiya?
Basically, at the time, I mean, prior to them getting the Monsterverse license, they were they were a small company. They still are a small company in comparison to the big guys, but they did 3/4-inch figures, which were now they're called the exquisite minis. Okay, so those are like those classic GI Joe size figures, right? So they did Aliens, I think they did Predator, they did Injustice, Gods Among Us. So that's their beginning. So they did that in the beginning. Okay, and then when they acquired the license to to do Godzilla, Monsterverse specifically, because I remember, if you remember, they had that silhouette, that announcement, and like you can tell who is who, right? And Mecha Godzilla is in that solicitation, the silhouette.
And then never again.
Yes. So then, at the time when I saw that, I messaged Hiya, right? Like I did a little bit of research about Hiya. I go, who's Hiya? I said, oh, they're in China, okay, and I'm in Taiwan. And I messaged them, hey, I'm interested. Hey, I'm congratulations. I first said congratulations on acquiring the Godzilla license. I'm very looking forward to it and things, right? And they go, oh, thank you and things, right? And then they messaged me back, hey, would you like to, work with us a little bit and things? And they go, yeah, sure. And then I remember that very first Godzilla, the exquisite basic Godzilla. Like I was like one of the first people to, hey, my dogs are here, my wife. I was like one of the first people to review that figure, and it was something. You know what I mean? Like the attitudes of people at the time to now has shifted dramatically. So but it's come a long way in such a short time. You know what I mean? It's still a relatively young company, but it's been quite a ride. Yeah. So, Kyle, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is why Harold is sensei. He knows a lot about them. Yes, they are a very small company. They are about the same size as Super 7. So we're talking about like fewer than 50 people outside of the warehouse. I guess I don't really have anything else new to add to what Harold has said, other than, and I think that it's pretty obvious if you are someone who follows Hiya Toys and the way they respond to things. They care very deeply about what customers think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And like any companies are like, we care about creating maximum value for the customer. Like they're not like that. They're very much like, okay, how do we make the best product for the customer? What's the customer reception going to be? Like at this past Comic-Con, talking to them, and we're talking about the tail on the exquisite basic plus Godzilla. Like I'm handling it, and they're asking me like, do you think people will be okay with it? Do you think people will like it, etc.? And then when I pointed out the arm articulation cut, they were like, oh my gosh, like what do you think people are going to think about that? Like they're very, very, very sensitive to what folks think. And like there are certain products like the Mecha Godzilla 93 or the Godzilla 2002, which I know Harold has on hand here, that they've been a long time coming because the reception at the beginning was not what they had hoped for, and they took everything back to the drawing board. Yes, they are very in tune with what the customers say. Honestly, I think to a detriment sometimes. I think sometimes they hurt themselves with how much they care about what customers are saying. But it really, like, they are very sincere in that they really want to know what people think, and they're always listening on social media to what folks are asking for and what they're saying. So so that's just something I wanted to hammer home, that like, sometimes when you read like the interview that I posted, and they're like, oh, like, yeah, we're interested, but we want to know what customers think. Like if they want it, let us know. And it's very easy to see that as like a brushing off, like, go away, like we can't be bothered. But when Hiya is saying this, like they genuinely mean it.
They genuinely, because in the beginning, like when after I did my review of that very first Godzilla, and they got my feedback, and then literally within a couple of months, we got a brand new Godzilla 2019, and the pin in the jaw was completely gone. They completely redid the sculpt. I was like, whoa, that was fast. That was like lightning fast. So that's when people started catching on. I was like, oh, they're listening to feedback and things, and but as like what Kyle said, it's to their detriment. But it's not only just a Hiya thing. It's in terms of business in China, it's a culture thing too.
Interesting.
They're really focused and aimed at pleasing the customer as best as they can. And that's their approach here when it comes to all these figures and things. That's why we've been getting like, you know, revamps of figures from, you know, from release to release, is because they're focused on that. It's not just a company thing, it's also a cultural thing when it comes to business. Yes.
Cool. Chris, do you have any, from the other side of it as a consumer, do you have any history with Hiya?
I have personally reviewed 2 of the Hiya figures. Never had like a proper Godzilla action figure, and the Nikas at that point were the closest I ever got. So there was a dealer I would buy stuff from. He's like, "Hey man, like, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "What is this? That Hiya thing?" He's like, "Yeah. Here, it's like $50. You know, I traded him a couple other things, and he's like, just go home and I opened one myself. Just give it a shot." I'm like, okay. And I remember opening that Rodan, being completely blown away, because I'm like, this feels like a Nika if they actually knew what the hell they were doing. Like,
it's like a 2.0 of them. Yes,
it's a 1000% to 2.0, and I'm like,
yes.
I immediately went online. I'm like, I know I got a deal. This cannot be as cheap as what. And sure enough, like, I think I paid only $10 under retail for what the actual figure was. Now, that said, I'm like, I got to get a hold of more of these. Here's the problem. Could not find any more because they were already gone. And, you know, we made reference to them listening to the fans to almost to their detriment. The Mechagodzilla 93 was the biggest, let's just say, thorn of of action figureness the day I posted it. And then 3 days later, Nika's like, yeah, we're going to go back, or not Nika, I'm sorry, Hiya. We're going back to the drawing board. And I'm like, wow, hey, kudos to you guys. And then that Super Mechagodzilla showed up at Comic-Con, and they just made their announcement. And now all I'm hearing is another level of bitching from people. Yeah. And this is something we've talked about in other episodes. You'll never please all the fans.
You can't please everybody, you know, and like they were trying to figure out, like, they wanted screen accuracy. Like when it came to the Monsterverse, those things were like, that's one of the things too. Like when I got that first Godzilla in hand, like if you look back on my first review, I was like, oh my God, I never noticed how inaccurate the SH Monster Arts was. But the thing though, at the time too, it also started waking me up to the process of how these figures were made and things. Because at the time I didn't know, I didn't care enough or know about how, you know, what was Monster Arts' process and stuff. And then like as soon as when I became better friends with Michael of the Articulation series, and then not long after that we got together with Kyle, and like we decided to like, okay, let's educate ourselves, and in doing that, let's, you know, share this information with everybody else, because there's a lot of misinformation that's being thrown around because for clout, for their own personal reasons and stuff like that, you know. But what a
positive way of looking at it, instead of
very much. And I appreciate that, because you know, I've been knee deep in the toy world since I was a kid, and you know, I've studied, you know, man, I've talked to guys from Mattel, I've talked to guys from Hasbro, because I've been going to Comic-Con for 30 plus years now. And there is something that bothers me now, especially in the age of the internet, with the know-it-all consumer that doesn't know jack squat. And it's the thing that bothers me the most, because
you know who they are, because you're the ones that are constantly making the most noise
every time. And I get it the most when I do the Playmates reviews, and I always preface it in those reviews. I'm like, guys, you got to remember, these are kids' toys. This is a $9.99 toy for children. And every time I just get, that's no excuse for. I'm like, I know you're over 25, and I know you're buying these toys. This is meant for like a 5-year-old who's just getting into Godzilla. Like, that's what these are built for. And you're complaining about screen accuracy and paint job. I'm like, be thankful that you're getting that, and not the slop that Hasbro is putting out right now with all their Marvel stuff, because there's all that, but it's now the war of I keep saying Nika, Hiya and Monster Arts. But as I told everyone, in the parlance of pro wrestling, competition is good, because Hiya seems to have lit the proverbial fire under Tamashi's ass, and they have definitely upped their game since Hiya's come out onto the market.
And that's a good thing for everybody.
Very much so.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well-
that's a good thing for everybody. Like the thing though is like I remember when I reviewed that first Godzilla, like all the diehard SH Monster Arts guys, oh, they were laughing their asses off at the pin inside that in that Godzilla's mouth, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Hiya is not all that, blah blah blah. And then as soon as 2019 comes around and things, and then like even now, like nobody's talking smack about Hiya now. You know what I mean? All those guys that
No.
were talking smack about Hiya, now they're the ones that are pro Hiya, and like they're talking smack about SH Monster Arts. It's such a weird high school mentality. You know what I
It
mean?
very much is.
It's so weird. Like what? Like I collect everything. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Because I like it all. Like I don't view it as a oh, I can only be in this camp and it's one or the other. This isn't the Warriors. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yes.
It's weird.
Look, before we get too off, Arian's heard it a million times. I hammer it every episode. There's a lot of new people in this fandom. I tell everyone, be grateful for what you have now.
Oh yeah.
Because we came up in a time when it was a drought and there was jack squat. You had to rely on guys bringing Bandai vinyls over from Japan because that was the only way you're going to get anything. If you were lucky, someone like Trendmasters got the license. That was it. Now the cup doth overflow. And not only that, but you're getting stuff that if you showed that to me when I was 9, my brain would have exploded.
Oh man, I mean, there's Godzilla stores. There's Godzilla pop-up stores all over the world now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was one just not too long ago here in my town in Tainan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's an official Godzilla store up in Taipei and things. So like this is an overabundance of Godzilla stuff. You know what I mean? That was just non-existent. Me growing up as a kid. You know,
It was- I mean, it was almost non-existent 10 years ago. And then you got all these kids coming in acting like they know everything. I'm like, you don't know, buddy. Like,
but I mean, I feel like one of the goals of this show is even if you are a know-it-all, join the club. You know, it's okay. It's okay to like peanut butter and Nutella, and it's okay. And maybe the goal of this show is just to
educate.
Hey, man, educate. Just kind of it's okay. It's okay to like everything. If you like SD or Chibi, that's fine. That's cool. You like fun or pops.
Hey,
great, Mondo.
I'm still a ride or die.
Absolutely.
Bandai
vinyl, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, Rob loves those things, man.
Oh yeah, we know. We know.
Yeah.
But hey, man, let's get to it. Yeah, let's get down to business, and let's start with that first Hiya Exquisite Basic. We're gonna start with Exquisite Basic under the Legendary banner. The Godzilla from Godzilla vs. King Kong. Do we have a time for this date?
Oh God!
You can see it here. Thank you for
So all of these dates are logged on Hiya's Instagram because they're all timed. I want to say it was early 2022.
So not soon after. Well, pretty close to. Because Kong was 2021, yes? Yes.
The movie was 2021, March 2021, and I believe that the line, launched the year after.
Looking at this promo image, it looks great. I'm looking, there's a pin, but it looks great. And I mean, every wave one is always going to have a little bit of an issue. You guys have held this figure in your hands before. What were your first impressions when you first opened this guy up and you're like, oh, this is new?
For me, it was like, oh man, this felt very much like a NECA 2.0. And it felt sturdy, it felt solid. But then like holding it in my hand and then like holding the SH Monster, I was like, whoa, like so like I never noticed, like again, as I said earlier, I never noticed how inaccurate the sculpt was, you know what I mean? But this is like the most accurate Godzilla at the time. And it was impressive. It was quite impressive, especially for the price point. And then not long after that, we get the solicitation for Godzilla 2019. And then when I finally got that in hand, I was like, oh my God, they didn't just take the pin out and just replace the jaw. They did the whole bloody figure, from bottom up. It's a totally brand new sculpt. And that's like when people really started catching the attention of for Hiya. I was like, what, they did that so soon? I mean, it takes years for Tamashi or Bandai to do a revamp of anything. You know what I mean? If at all, which is incredible. Yeah, but yeah, that is they really set the bar high. But at the same time too, it also it kind of hurts them as well too, because people are now putting these over expectations, and like they're tripping on their own stuff now they can't meet their own deadlines and things, and like that's been happening for quite a while, and they've been trying to tighten up their schedules and things. So like Kyle interviewed them, and he asked them specifically about that. And but that's the thing but people keep forgetting they're a small company. But like all of a sudden they were trying to just bite off a little bit too much, that they could more than they could chew. You know what I mean? But they're catching up. I think they're catching up. Yeah. So
yeah, that first Godzilla, the 21, that's actually still my favorite Monsterverse Godzilla that they've done. Yeah, I don't care about the peg in the jaw. Yeah, the neck can look a little bit disjointed if it's not posed properly, but it still has the most mobility out of any Monsterverse Godzilla neck that they've done, which is like the trade-off. And also there's like the coloration of the teeth still stands out as my favorite. They're more in line with the color of the skin, so they're more of like a charcoal black than the gray that they moved on with. So yeah, this actually remains my favorite Monsterverse Godzilla that they've done.
So it holds up.
It still
4
holds
years
up,
later.
yes.
Yeah, cool.
Easy,
cool.
Easily.
Yeah, it still holds up.
Soon after that, I mean, if we're gonna have a Godzilla and Kong, obviously we're gonna have Kong next, right?
Yes.
So here's Kong. Thank you. Post editing.
With Kong, it was. Go ahead.
No. I mean, I'm looking at Kong, and it looks like Kong. It looks like Kong shaped. Kong looks. I mean, this looks great. The easiest comparison is Monster Arts, obviously.
This is where the line began to be drawn. These Kongs were the first things that the Monster Arts stuff getting compared to.
Yes.
And I remember seeing those first images. And to be fair, Monster Arts made a pretty solid Kong. Like their Kong was pretty good. It's just the fact that I don't know if it's just people not wanting Kong or what was going on, but it just felt like people were like, yeah, it's Kong. I just want Godzilla. Like, he's literally the other dude in the title, like, and he comes with the axe. Like, what's going on? But
I can see people, especially when these are the first two in the line. People are kind of have a little bit of cold feet, like they don't want to go head first into a brand new line, especially if you don't know how long this line is going to go. Hindsight's 2020 now, where it's like, no, these, like Kyle said, these still hold up, or at least Godzilla still holds up. What do we think about Kong?
At the time, people weren't really too happy with that SH Monster Arts Kong. I feel, because they could clearly tell that it's not, because everybody's like pushing for screen accuracy and things. You know what I mean? And then along comes this Kong, and it's closer to. It's still not screen accurate, but it's They feel that it's a little closer to screen accuracy. But in terms of articulation, no way. The SH Monster Art still dominates there. You know what I mean? So, like for the first one, like it was still a pretty stiff figure. You know what I mean? Like aesthetically, it looked really good and things, but like it just couldn't pull off the same articulation, the same posing that it could and things. Like, you know what? Even with their brand new Kong, it still can't. You know what I mean? But
it's a humanoid-ish figure. Yeah, it feels like that should be a layup.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like even like with their newest Kong that they did, like like I've been asking Hiya to incorporate butterfly joints, because a character like that needs butterfly joints. He needs to be able to do this and this and things, right? Like Kong, like in the movie, he's holding his arm like this because he's hurt and things, right? You can't do that with that figure, even now. You know what I mean? But the SH Monster Arts, it can do that. You know what I mean? So like, hopefully, like in the next go around with us, the Supernova Kong, they'll be able to make that. But like, of course, like now what you're seeing too is like the price just climbing too as well. You know what I mean? Because like these things are not going to stay cheap forever. So
No,
for sure.
yeah,
For sure. Okay, let's move on to this is where, again, with Chris, this is where I started noticing Hiya doing Godzilla is the Rodan, the 2019 Rodan. I thought this was a NECA. I mean, I knew Hiya was, doing Judge Dredd and Walking Dead and Predator and Aliens, and I thought they only did like the Stylist series. But when I saw this Rodan, I was like, oh, what's this?
It was such a breath of fresh air because
yeah.
you have the only other one that you can compare it to. The only other two are that NECA one and the SH Monster Arts one. And the NECA can move the wings like this, right? But you can't. And like the Monster Arts, like you can move the wings, right? But there's no bending at the wings. You know what I mean?
Right.
But with this one, you can bend those wings. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh my God. But at the same time, like the questions started, creeping up. Oh, bendy wire. Like people, rightly so, like with bendy wire, like how they questioned the longevity of it. But so far, I mean, either they've done something new with bendy wire that we're not aware of, but like so far it's holding up. Yeah.
Using tungsten instead of just just regular wire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it felt like. I mean, that was when I first opened this thing, like I still had my NECA, and at the time I'm like, hey, that NECA Rodan's pretty cool. But this thing just blew it out the water. I'm like, I was looking at the NECA, and it was like that scene in Toy Story where Andy drops Woody, and it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Like, this is the future right here. Like, this is, I'm like, wow, this is a step up. Like, I cannot believe there's a Rodan and his damn wings bend. Like, you can do the poses properly. Like, it's everything I ever wanted.
So, in addition to everything that you guys have said, Rodan was the moment for me with Hiya where, like, they did Godzilla, they did Kong. When they announced the license, they showed all the monsters, but it was like, are they really going to get to all the monsters? Rodan was the moment where I was like, huh. Like, I wonder how far they're going to go with this. And here we are today, years into the line, and they're getting to damn near everything.
And also, if I could just add one thing, I mean, I've had several. This is one of my favorite designs of Rodan. I love that King of the Monsters Rodan. For some reason, he's been a tough nut to crack for a lot of toy guys or a lot of toy companies. I even had the X Plus, and I remember being severely disappointed opening that thing. I'm like, this thing, they did not get the sculpt down. It's awkward. It's in a weird, like, he's kind of like a mid, like, flight.
Really? You didn't like that one? I love that one.
It's just something about, like, I just looked at it and I'm like, the paint, I think the paint job was really janky on that one too. And that was part of the thing with the NECA, is that he's not, like, the shading is kind of there when you look at it from afar, but when you get close, it's just like he's like a turd brown for some reason. Instead of like the fire doesn't really, like, the red doesn't come out.
The volcanic,
This one though, like, it just, the second it was like I had to put on like sunglasses to look at it because it was just popping so hard at me.
With that Rodan's
amazing. This is by far the best version of the 2019 Rodan anyone has ever done.
Yes. Yeah. Well, especially in terms of like a figure form, the fact that you can pose those wings, it really made Hiya stand out. People were going ecstatic for it. It's like, oh my God, you can do that. And like and then not long after that, the Mothra too, and things like the Mothra. I will say about the Mothra, this is not Hiya's fault. I kind of wish that Legendary would have made that Mothra design a little more closer to the high side design, right?
Mhm.
Because the body of Mothra, if you look at that, if a Mothra without the wings, it's so tiny. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But then like when you make that into figure form, it's so tiny. I mean, I need glasses to look at things, and like then without my glasses, I cannot see any of those details. You know what I mean? So like I wish that they would have made that Mothra closer to the high side. Well, at least give it bigger proportions for the body.
Yeah. I mean, a little insight. We literally had the guy that designed that Mothra at Comic-Con on our panel. And we've talked to him. I've talked to him in the past, and you know, he showed me like the entire evolution process of that design, because that's, you know, concept art, how it works.
Yeah.
And he was told, he's like, we're getting notes from Toho, we're getting notes from the director. The big notes were she needs to be smaller than everyone else, but fierce, and the wings really need to be like the character of everything. So
yeah,
it was one of those kind of like, felt like a corporate mandate on certain things just to like streamline her.
Yeah.
And you know, I think even he feels that like there, you know, because the model's so small, even on the screen, that you lose something with it. Because when you look at his design up close, I'm like, there's great detail put into this thing. You just never see it because her wings are 90% of her body.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, like you don't get to appreciate the other nuances because it's just so small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about Mothra. Let's talk about Hiya. What I think is Hiya's biggest test so far. Let's talk about that Ghidorah, that 1.0 Ghidorah.
Woo!
Whoa. Okay. So the thing with that one is that when they solicited, it was like $90. People lost their shit. I go, that is impossible. How can that thing be $90? Like the SH Monster was like what, 130 or something like that?
It was
no
200.
It was easily 200.
I think it was 180 at the time. The MSRP
Okay,
for the US was 180. So it was half. It came in at half the price.
Yeah. And
it's
people
the same
were
size.
like, what? What's going on? Like, what's going on with this, right? And like, it really, people started talking about, okay, why are these things so cheap in comparison and things, right? But like, if you look at it even further, like China as a whole, the way they do their business, especially like with their manufacturing and things like this, there's a whole conversation that started over it. You know what I mean? And like we talk about it quite a bit every now and then and things, but ultimately, I mean, they're just, China is ground zero for, you know, action figure manufacturing and things, you know what I mean? And like they can get things done, you know, in a cheaper way that basically
more efficient way.
Yeah, more.
They're cutting out the middleman. There's no middleman. It's essentially you're getting direct from market.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand.
Yeah, but also too, like other than that, there's also the political side of things too, like how, you know, the political and economical things, like how China does business in you know, over, you know, in their own country and things, right? And like, you know, if you'll never get that information if you watch mainstream news, because they won't cover it. Like it's always like through other means, you know what I mean? Because like I have my godfather, he lives here with me and here in Tainan and things, and he knows people. He has friends in China that have businesses and stuff like that, and he tells them all the time, you know, like, you know, what's going on in China and things, you know, like there's like you know, you should, you know, like there aren't, for people that live in China, like labor laws aren't the way labor laws are in Canada or in America and things, you know what I mean? So that's one of the possible reasons why, you know, they undercut everybody. Yeah.
I see.
So
well, I mean, the figure itself is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's do we have, how tall is this guy? This is 9 inches? No, 10 inches.
I think he's like
centimeters. Sorry.
Centimeters, yeah. I think he's like 11 inches to the top of the head, but he's like closer to 13 or 14 to the top of the wings.
So we're talking about 18 centimeter, no, 25 centimeter by 30.
I love Arian's doing the conversion in his head.
He's doing the conversions, yeah. Yeah, he's almost 2 feet wide, and he's about 14 inches tall.
This
is
the top
was
of the wings.
so when Diamond was still around, they had this guy open at their booth at Comic-Con. I want to say like this was 2023 before he hit the mainstream market, and they just had him sitting right next to the cashier. I remember walking by and I just stopped. I'm like, "You have it already?" They're like, "We're not selling it. We're just, if you want to buy it, you can order from us. But here's basically what you're going to get. This is the early, the early version for you to." They're like, "If you want to put your hands on it and play with it, go ahead." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" They're like, "Yeah, that's what it's here for." I remember picking that thing up, and I'm just like, "How much?" They're like, "It's like, I think after tax, $110 or something like that." I'm like, Monster Arts is in for a lot of trouble, man. I've never expected to see a day where a Ghidorah toy like this would ever exist. I mean, the quality was masterful, and the paint job was, for lack of a better term, exquisite. There's a reason why they call it that. And there was a dude standing behind me, and he literally stopped, grabbed his girlfriend's like, we can't go anywhere. She's like, "What?" I'm just like, "We gotta go." I was like, no, Ghidorah's out. I gotta play with him. And I just turned him like, "Go ahead, buddy." And I just watched this 30-year-old man turn into like a 9-year-old kid again. Like, he was just sitting there. I could see his girlfriend. She's like, "What's the big deal?" He's like, and we just had this moment of like, no, when you see it, like, there's that unspoken thing of like, we never thought we were ever going to get this, and now it's here. So, and I think the guy pre-ordered it right there, sight on, once he held, he's like, "How much?" They're like, $109. It'll be here in like 3 months. Here's my credit card.
Yeah.
Chris, that was. Let's be real. That was me. You don't have to. You could be. I was the one who turned into a child for like a minute.
I have seen your girlfriend roll her eyes at some of the stuff you have been buying. So,
bless her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Harold, do you have any final thoughts on, or Kyle as well? Do you have any final thoughts on? I'm going to call Hiya's first test. This Ghidorah. We're gonna talk about it again, but
it was such an impact, and of course, people were gonna say, "Oh, Monster Arts is in trouble." Like, they're saying all sorts of ridiculous things. You know what I mean? But like, people forget, like, with Monster Arts, I don't think they really care, because the thing though is because Monster Arts' main market is Japan. Okay, and these Hiya figures, they are not allowed officially in Japan because of the non-compete clause, right? So, but they are getting in the hands of Japanese people, but they're, you know what I mean? But they have to find other ways and stuff, you know what I mean? But like we've had this discussion before, like what would happen? What could happen, like, if Monster Arts just stops selling entirely in people stop in America, people stop buying SH Monster Arts and go with Hiya. What could possibly happen? You know what I mean? And the real answer is that Bandai will just stop marketing it for America. They'll just stay with Japan, which is their market anyways. So
it's something that fans don't seem to understand out here, is that all this stuff is Japanese first. Anything else is just, the cherry on the cake.
Exactly. And with Hiya, it's China first. It's China first. You know what I mean? And everybody else is secondary. So that's the thing. So
so for me, I think I feel like Ghidorah was like a knockout of the park, but I also think that between Ghidorah and Mothra really highlights like how not toy friendly those King of the Monsters designs are. Whoever made those did not have a conversation with like the merchandising people about like how we actually make these things. I also feel like the Ghidorah 2019 was the moment when people started saying like, I wish Hiya would get the classic license, because like, look how much love they're giving Monsterverse, right? Like we could only hope that like classic Toho would ever get that amount of love.
Yeah.
And at the time, we all just kind of assumed it was locked down. Like Bandai had it in Japan, and then they had some global distribution as well. But January 2021, Super 7 picked up the license that NECA put down, and between the two, we were like, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any room or any way that they're going to be able to do that. Spoiler alert for the rest of the video down the line, but eventually they did. But I think like Ghidorah 2019 was that moment where it was like, man, what if classic Toho got this kind of love?
Yes. Yeah.
It's the beautiful part of capitalism. That's what I love about it.
yeah. With enough money, you can do whatever you want.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to what I would call the flagship figure of the legendary exquisite basic, and that is the titular figure, Godzilla 2019.
Okay. I have a funny story about this one because
let's talk about it.
Harold has kind of talked about it already, right? Like how quick Hiya was with the improvements. So my experience was, when that first one came out, the 2021, and people started getting in hand, like Harold got in hand, did his coverage of it. It became very difficult to find. It became very, very difficult to find. And if you wanted it, you were gonna be paying like $300-400 on the aftermarket. 300-400 Canadian, right?
Scalpers, fucking
yeah. And I forget where I was looking. It might have been Reddit or Twitter, but someone had reached out to Hiya and asked, like, "Are you going to reissue this because it's getting a lot of attention, and it's basically sold out everywhere?" And Hiya replied, "Thanks for reaching out. We have no plans to reissue this figure." And I did what most Godzilla fans do. I went to Toho Kingdom forums to bitch about it. And I was basically like, what the fuck? Like, this company knows there's money on the table and they're withholding it and all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. I was such an angry little boy. And not 2 days later, they announced the 2019 version, and it's specifically mentioning that like we fixed the neck and the hinge jaw. And then I had to like eat crow and go on my apology tour. Just like, okay, all right, I see what you're doing here. You're not reissuing it because you're fixing it and all this. So that was my experience with the 2019. I did end up getting the 2021 later because there's a pretty big Canadian online hobby shop called Toy Snowman, who's great, and they ship to the US too. They ended up sourcing, I think, like 10 of the 2021. Oh, wow. And they were selling it for, at the time, it was like $75 or $80 equivalent, which was higher than MSRP, but like it was still the only reasonable place to get it. So I did end up getting it. I never got the 2019, but it's just a funny story because I was that angry guy on the internet like long before I started YouTube. I was just like, what the fuck, like, come on. And then 2 days later, Hiya's like, here's the new and improved legendary Godzilla.
Yeah.
We've all been there, man. We've all been on the internet.
We've all been that angry kid on Toho Kingdom.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it was such a interesting time because at the time they were difficult to get. The highest stuff where it was difficult to get, and
I think Diamond was their only distributor out here, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm getting this stuff. Right. And people on my Instagram and my YouTube, like, why are you getting it, man? I was like, it's because
who are you?
I'm here in Taiwan, and it's like, well, I'm right next door, so you know what I mean. I happen to be living right next door to them, so that's why. And they're like, oh, you're so lucky. I go, I am. So yeah.
This is the one, man. This is the Hiya. This is, when you think of Hiya, this is what you think of. Yeah, wrong.
Well, for me, I mean, I do like that the 2019 because like I had the gigantic Series X Plus Godzilla 2019 at the time, and like the paint app on that one was very similar. I was like, oh, this is almost like that, and things. But then, of course, people are never satisfied. There's always going to be that group of loud obnoxious people. Oh, the paint sucks. Blah 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 blah. I was like, I don't care. This thing looks beautiful. Like in comparison to like the first one, like this is like leaps and bounds better, you know. But actually, my favorite right now of the Toho, the legendary mold is the re-evolved. This one right here. This is Godzilla. X Kong, like it's got such a weird name. It's clearly a typo. You know what I mean? Like they never went back to fix, but it's supposed to be re-evolve or de-evolve, whatever. But you know,
it's supposed to be pre-evolved.
Pre-evolve. There you go. Yeah, pre-evolve. But like, I don't know, because you know what? And like people were making such a big stink of it, and I was like, listen, guys, English is not Hiya's main language. It's Chinese, you know what I mean? So give them a little bit of grace, okay? Like they probably don't have anybody like there to fix the English or for them or anything like that. They're like good enough, but like it's weird that it got approved. You know what I mean? Which is kind of strange.
That just shows that there was something had happened, like because again, those who don't understand, there's a whole process to the stuff, especially on the English side.
Yes.
Toho has to approve it. Legendary has to approve it. Like it go like about 3 dozen eyes see it before it actually gets to you. So that means it just slipped through the it. There were many people.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
It happens at Super 7, happens at Tamashi. Things just slip, and we all have
everyone's juggling 500 things.
Yeah. So it happens. But now this next one is I would say it's the I would call it the Hiya trope, where we get Godzilla versus King Kong, got GVK Godzilla in Heat Ray. This is the first Heat Ray figure that we get. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, the first Heat Ray, that's when like one. Yeah, the painted one. It's not the translucent version one, it's the painted one. And just by looking at the paint, it's like it's just beautiful. Like it's still one of my favorites in my collection, even though like but I don't know. Hiya does something strange, you know what I mean? Like you think that the next one after the translucent version would look better. Me personally, I like the paint scheme on this one much better than the translucent version because they took the time to add those little details to the dorsal plates and things, you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, the dorsal plates on the translucent version is just different. And it's not bad, but it's just different, and I just like how it looks better on the non-translucent version. But it's still a nice figure.
Yeah. I don't have any experience with this one. This one completely flew under my radar. It kind of, I don't want to knock it, but it kind of blends in with all the other 2019s for me.
As you said, this started the trend, though.
Yeah.
This was I think everyone's, the Pavlovian response now is, oh, you got a new figure? Give it about 6 months. We're going to get the variant of said figure.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, everyone's doing it though. It's we want to get the most out of those molds. So a paint application is the easiest way to go about that.
But let's talk about a new mold. Let's talk about the Skull Devil, not the Skull Crawler, the Skull Devil.
Yeah, it's called Skull Devil.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of these guys. I have like 12 of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
I what's it called?
Army build?
I army build them. Yes, I army build them because like I knew I wanted that because like, you know, I have the comic of the Kong comic where like his whole family gets killed by a whole bunch of. I kind of wanted to recreate, and I did that in toy photography and things. So like, but it makes sense like to army build these guys. You know what I mean? These guys, the war bats, their army building potential as well. You know, because there's a whole bunch of them in the movie, right? And what's another one? It's slipping. My mind is slipping right now.
Are they doing the Drowned Viper? They're not doing the Drowned Viper right now, are they?
They haven't solicited it yet.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure at some point we'll see the Drowned Viper. But like we had that discussion between us. It's like, how the hell are they going to do that Drowned Viper? Like it's going to be a freaking. Are they going to pack it in a tube? You know what I mean?
because presumably it would be one big bendy wire, presumably, and any higher release, the bendy wire is always straight, so it would just be like a yardstick. It's just mailed out.
I mean, theoretically, they could do it segmented like Tiamat is.
Big S.
They could, man, but I don't. I feel like that's just too many segments.
Yeah.
But presumably they will get to Drowned Viper because they're getting to the bottom of the barrel. They don't have many on-screen creatures left.
Let's move. Look, it's you've seen this show. I'm a sucker for burning anything. Let's talk about
I love
burning.
Wise. I mean, enough has been said about the mold. Yes, the mold is dead on, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like the paint, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was impressed with this one. I thought the when you compare it with the SH Monster Arts version, the SH Monster Arts version is like a Cheeto. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's just
compared to the Nika one, like that was the one I was geared for, and then when I finally got the thing in my hand, I'm like, this is such a half-ass job.
Yeah.
And when I saw this thing, I'm like, that's what I wanted. I wanted the dark hues on the skin with the burning coming from underneath. Like they nailed the paint job on this thing. But this was
sort of like, for me, sort of like there should have been a little bit more touches of black on the dorsal plates and stuff. Because if you look at because like when I did the review of this, I was impressed. Like, oh, I love burning Godzilla, and this thing looks badass. But like, I want a the translucent version, and I hope that translucent version looks like the Spyro Studios one, right?
We'll get to that one. That one comes later. We got a couple more before we get to those. Yes.
Sure.
But let's move on to. I was a little confused about this one. This one just is called the Godzilla vs. Kong reissue, which previously they said they weren't going to do, but they are now.
Just further twisting the knife, right? Like we're never going to reissue this one. Okay, fine. I guess I'll fuck myself. And then they're like, "Hey, it'd be pretty cool if we redid our first one with the engineering that we improved upon for 2019." Like, okay. Yeah, again, I didn't get this one because I'm very happy with my first one. So I can't really speak to it. Harold, I know you have all of them.
I have all of them. You know, the thing though is, I mean, yeah, it's great. You know, like it would have been nice if this would have been our first one, but it's not, you know what I mean? But the thing though that, I don't know, I guess I should have mentioned this sooner to them, that it would have been nice, because the paint app on this guy is just gray. He's just flat, right? He's like the one in the line that's like just not. It's just painted uninterestingly. You know what I mean? If they would have painted him like the Ichibancho Godzilla versus Kong, if you've seen, oh my God, that would be so much better. And I'm actually thinking of doing that with this figure right here. So that I'm gonna get my buddy to custom paint it to look like that Ichibancho version. You know what I mean? Because like. You know what I mean? Because like he's standing on my shelf right now, but he's not getting any. He doesn't pop because he's just like this very dark, muted gray. You know what I mean? And like they could have done that. They should have given. I take a little bit of responsibility because I should have mentioned. Yeah, make this look like the Ichibancho color scheme, and that would have been better received.
Let's move on to I'd call this Haya's second test is the female MUTO. I was surprised by this. I wasn't expecting, but I'm happy that it exists, and it made me think. 2014 has a soft spot in my heart, and I thought, we're in 2014. We'll get we got this guy or this gal. Looks wonderful. I thought. We'll get into that, but let's just talk about the figure itself right now. This is the articulated female.
The only one, like fully articulated MUTO figure. And to me, like the issues I have with that figure are not Haya's fault. Like it's such a streamlined and simple design that when you articulate it, like you break that up. My issue with the female MUTO is that it just looks very articulated, because there's nowhere for the cuts to hide or anything like that. So
Yeah.
you know, people waited like 10 years for their first articulated MUTO figure. I think it succeeds in most of the ways that matter.
Yeah.
And that my only real issue with it has to do with the character design itself, and that I think Legendary needs to do a better job of working with product managers or product designers.
Yeah.
And admittedly, like New Empire, those characters are pretty easy to do. So maybe they've gotten that feedback.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to talk about this next one. I know this is
Okay.
Kyle's personal favorite. Let's talk about Kong Skull Island.
The Burger King himself.
Oh boy.
God.
Oh gosh.
I have
Listen,
one complaint about this figure.
Only
Okay.
one? Okay.
I'll wait until you guys say it and I'll throw in my complaint.
Sure. Okay.
Kyle, the floor is yours.
Listen. Okay. This is one figure to have a special status within Hiya Toys' releases of being one of the few figures to let me rephrase that. One of the few brand new sculpts to release early. This figure actually released a whole quarter early.
Yes.
Which at the time was like, holy cow, that never happens. And now Behemoth and Monster X have all shipped 2 quarters early. I stand by the fact that KSI Kong is a fun toy. It is a great toy. You get him in hand. He comes with a big fucking club, all that stuff. There were some articulation improvements over the first Godzilla versus Kong figure.
Yes.
This guy is not screen accurate whatsoever. I hope to God they do a 2.0 at some point. But in terms of just being a fun Kong figure, he's great.
The thing though is I mean, we all wanted that screen accuracy because like we've been getting with Godzilla. Why not get it with Kong, right? But like the thing though is like certain things that are unspoken is like, they still have to get the licensing for, to get like the CG files and stuff like that. So that's why we haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean? But I don't know. There is the potential that we could get it. So we'll just have to wait. I mean, it is a good Kong figure, but it's not the definitive Kong Skull Island figure. You know what I mean? Like when I got that in hand and I looked at my X Plus Kong, I was like, yeah, this is not it. You know what I mean? Like if they need to make this guy right here the X Plus I was talking about. Yeah.
My only complaint, and hopefully it gets corrected in the 2.0, is it doesn't come with propeller accessories.
Listen, at the 2.0, the 2.0 needs the propeller.
2.0 will have that. Yeah. If anything, the 2.0 will have that. Yeah.
You need the extra arm to pop off so the chain's already wrapped around it so you can add the propeller. Yes.
Oh yeah. This next figure, again, it kind of blends in with all the 2019s for me. It is the translucent heat ray 2019. Hold on. The 20, just call it heat ray translucent. It's not. Is it connected to 2019 or GVK?
I think they're both technically GVK. I don't think they've actually done a 2019 Heat Ray version.
Got it.
This is the one that I preferred. So Harold preferred the painted one. I preferred the translucent version.
Sure.
And this is just because I don't often display my beam effects, and I like how the translucent one looks better, like without the heat effect better than the painted version. If they're both beam in, I think that the painted one looks better. But when it's on its own, I prefer the translucent version. I love the color on this guy. It's molded, I believe, entirely in translucent plastic and then painted over, which is really nice. One thing that I really respect Hiya for doing, and this was something that they kind of continued through to today, kind of, sort of, is that they showed off both Heat Ray versions at San Diego earlier in the year. And so as a customer, you got to see that both of these versions were coming down the pipeline and you could pick which one you wanted. If you preferred the painted one, you get the painted one. If you prefer the translucent, you could get the translucent. It wasn't like you get the first Heat Ray one because that's the only one that you think is going to come, and then they do this other one. It was like, no, we're going to do 2 versions and you can get the one that you really want to get, which I really liked. I really liked it when they did that. And it allowed me to get the translucent version. So
because you saw both of them, you're like, I'm going to save my money on the regular one. I'm going to wait for the translucent.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
that is
I'm
a
gonna
very
wait
cool
for the
thing to do.
Hiya. For the Hiya.
And now this next one, I think is the coolest name out of. This is the coolest Rodan, straight up called Rodan Flameborn.
Flameborn. Yes.
Flameborn, yeah, Flameborn.
What's the difference?
Basically, you could. I didn't have it at the time, but a black light. I have a
Mhm.
black light now, and like when I got my black light and I saw it, I go, oh, okay, now you can really appreciate the the glow that you get with that figure. It's something else. Yeah, it's not just another repaint. Like, you do need to have a black light to really appreciate like the glow effect that you get with that figure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Chris, you got anything to say about Rodan? Your favorite?
It's actually something I love a black light gimmick, and I saw this one on display, and when I saw the black, I'm like, especially with how the Monsterverse was going, because they started incorporating what I call the Pacific Rim aesthetic, where all the monsters that at least have energy or something, they all start glowing. The
Yeah.
bioluminescence. I'm like, I need a Godzilla like that. I need the charging Godzilla that I can just shine the light over, and it's I'm a sucker for gimmicks. Like growing up, my favorite Transformers were like the Headmasters and the Pretenders. Like, you give me something like that, and I'm an automatic mark for him.
Power Master Optimus Prime. I had that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to call this a disappointment, this next one, but on this one, I'm happy it exists, but I just prefer the Monster Arts, the Godzilla 2014.
This was a little bit of a step back in the quality for Hiya, I think, because everybody at the time, people, like when Hiya was on the scene, we're getting a screen accurate Godzilla 2019. They're like, okay, now give us 2014. We want a 2014, But what was interesting, what they did is that, yes, they gave us the 2014, but they scaled down that 2014 to be relatively scaled, so you can see. So when you have the two figures in hand, you can see the evolution of Godzilla, from 2014 to 2019, that he's bigger, he's more powerful and things. But the problem with that is that in terms of like manufacturing and things, a smaller scale figure, meaning like it's harder to get those details, and the teeth on that guy, people had a big problem with the teeth. You know what I mean? It looked gummy and things. Admittedly, I mean, it looked gummy and things, right? And the eyes weren't painted correctly. When I asked Hiya, hey, why are he has this is a great figure. Now I understand. Like I told him, listen, I know how difficult you can get, those little details when you go into a smaller scale, but people really want to see the teeth in the next one. They go, oh, okay, got it. And people want to see those eyes, and they go, well, we can't do anything about the eyes. I go, what? Why not? He goes, oh, because that's a different licensing issue. I go, what? Are you kidding me? The eyes? It's a separate licensing issue. It's just freaking yellow eye. Just fucking paint the thing yellow, with yellow eyes. I go, oh, sorry, we can't do that because it's a licensing thing. So, okay. And then later I went back to these guys. They can't fucking do that because of licensing issues or whatever.
It's a weird
thing. It's a weird thing. Yeah. So, but you know what? For those that wanted a screen accurate 2014, this is the most screen accurate you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Compared to the SH Monster Arts, this is it. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit the notes that you've wanted, but it's the most screen accurate one.
I love this saga. I love internet moments where we all have this monoculture.
Okay.
Let's talk about Godzilla Evolved and who's taller.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Like, Hiya is not a perfect company. As I said before, they are, they're a small company. And I don't know, I think when I got that figure in hand, I got the sense that they were trying to. Okay, back up a little. I think the Shimo came out first.
Mhm.
The Shimo came out first. Okay, and that Shimo figure was incredible. It's like figure of the year, right? People couldn't believe that, how it looked, the screen accuracy to it and things. When I started doing the little poses on my Instagram, people lost their shit with it and like, oh my god, you can do that and things, right? And really playing around with it. Like there's a lot of playability that you could do with that figure. But then once you got that one, and then you got the SH Monster Arts, I was like, huh? It's the freaking same size,
Mhm.
And that's what was shocking, like you would think that because the Hiya Toys is a 7-inch line, the exquisite basic, logically speaking, you would think it should be bigger, but it wasn't. Okay. So I think
heard
what they were trying to do.
Everyone heard it. He said it's not bigger. We can rest the case.
We
now.
can rest the case.
It's over.
Yeah.
We have photographic evidence showing that it's not bigger, but every time you post a photo, people are like, oh, you're not bending the legs straight enough or whatever.
Okay. All right. Let me continue.
Sorry.
So then I think what they were trying to do is that they were trying to accurately scale Godzilla to Shimo. So they brought the scale down, which is what it feels to me like when I have these two figures in my hand, right? So when I got that Godzilla Evolve, great looking figure, but like there was some misses. The paint on the dorsals, it was just flat. It looked like a bubble gum. But but in terms of the sculpt, great sculpt, okay? But again, earlier we got the 2014 and the neck, you can move it up and down and things, right? You could barely move the fucking neck on this thing at all, right? When I took it off and I showed everybody, it's like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like you cannot move this part right here, right? So that was a big miss. That was a big misstep. And I showed Hiya and I told him that, And then when it came down to the size, because at the time I had the SH Monster Arts version, right? And then I put them side by side. It's the same size, okay? Oh, no, it should be bigger. Okay, this is how, there's two modes with the figure. Neutral stance and combat stance. You can just push the thing up to make it look, right? But when you get an exquisite basic Godzilla, the legendary, I can make that guy look the same height if I do this. But the minute I do this, he's way tall. He's not a little taller. He's much taller. Okay? So, and the proportions, the legs, the arms, just looking at it, you can tell it's a bigger figure. It's bigger than the thing. There's no question. It's the evolved Godzilla is a smaller figure. Okay? But I couldn't believe it. Like I thought it was a joke, but people were losing their shit. No, you're wrong. You don't know how to pose. Like I don't know how to pose. You're talking to the guy that does Godzilla toy photography, okay? And like I took it a bit of a personal insult almost. You know what I mean? But I was like, I don't know, man. The copium when that figure came around was insane.
Huge copium. Yeah, Rob went as far as like removing the neck sheaths. Because people are like, oh, it's because you're not posing the neck. He's like, okay, I'm gonna remove all the neck pieces, so it's just the barbell pointed straight up, and you can see that the pre-evolved Godzilla is noticeably taller. Like this isn't a question. We're just observing it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like so, to maybe further the point here, like the Hiya Shimo is the same size as the Monster Arts. Like, I suspect that what happened has to do with the fact that Hiya was so early to market with their sculpts. Like, because Monster Arts trailed behind quite a bit with their newer, with the Evolved and with Scar King. And Scar King was way out of scale on the SH side. I just don't think that they had finalized dimensions. I don't think it has to do with budget. Like I don't think they purposely made Godzilla Evolve smaller or Shimo smaller. I just don't think they had the most up to date information. That is my guess. I don't know. I know Harold's talked to them a lot about scaling, well, especially with like Monster X and Godzilla 2004 stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's my guess, is that they were trying to get their stuff out earlier and they just didn't have the right information at the time.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, we can all, Harold, Kyle, we all know. No company, like Harold said, no company is perfect. Sometimes you're off by a centimeter.
Yeah.
No, it's again. I've gone on ad nauseum about this. I'm just adult collectors. You guys need to understand you're never going to get the thing you have in your head, and you looking for perfection with whatever you imagine the thing is never going to be what it's going to be. Like there are times when yes, you can be absolutely critical. Because there have been a lot of dog ass figures that have been put out. Believe me, I'm one to complain about things, but at the same time, I'm like this company's done a lot of goodwill with their fans, and then you're sitting here and just complain about the most minute thing. I'm like, okay, just go take a jog. You clearly do not have priorities. Sit down in your life. It's a Godzilla figure at the end of the day, guys. You don't like that. You want absolute accuracy. Just spend the money on an X Plus, and let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something that everybody can enjoy, and let's talk about Ghidorah Gravity Beam. You can't go wrong with this, man. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah. So this was one. This was an interesting one in that it was
the gold version. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
right?
gold. Yeah, it was
It was
gold. But it was released a month after solicitation, which unheard of, right? Unheard of. Well, Pre-Evolved had done it too. But outside of those two, this basically just doesn't happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never got this one. I had the first Ghidorah, and the beams were not enough to get me to double dip at the time. And I didn't need it to be super gold. So I skipped it, but Harold did get it.
I did get it. Yeah, because like they send it to me, you know what I mean? So they're like, hey, do you want it? Yeah, sure. How can I not say, no, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And it's just beautiful. Like it's beautiful, and it had the gravity beams this time and things. But the necks were still an issue. Like you couldn't get those necks to move as well. Still, like I know you're gonna talk about Godzilla 90. Not Godzilla, Ghidorah 91. Holy shit, that figure was incredible, especially my very first Ghidorah 91. Like I missed out on the SH Monster Arts version, but I got this one. That's like, it's like peak, absolute peak. Yeah. But getting back to that one, like it's beautiful. Like I knew they were gonna do it. I knew they were gonna do the gold version and things, right? But it's more of a commodity thing. Like if you wanted, get it, but like it's not it's not a necessary pickup. But the gravity beams were nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Let's talk about the figure of the year that Harold mentioned earlier, the Shimo.
Oh man!
Aside from, the price point versus another company's was insane.
It's insane, and like it's hard to argue. Like, listen, I picked up that SH Monster Arts Shimo, and I like it for what it is, and I like it more because I got to talk to the designer of Shimo. That was Jared Krachevsky, and then like when he was on our show, if you recall, Kyle, and when we showed him the picture, he goes, yeah, that looks like an early concept of my Shimo. I was like, okay, I'm picking up that Shimo specifically for that, you know what I mean? Because it's the early concept of an artist that I know, you know what I mean? But if a kid were to ask me, Harold, I want a Shimo, which one should I get? I can't recommend the SH Ball. Unfortunately, I cannot. Like if money is a thing, you can't recommend that SH Monster Arts, you know what I mean? But if you do have the money and you want different flavors of Shimo, understand what you're gonna get, you know what I mean? But it's there. But like it's hard to argue to tell somebody why you should get that figure.
Yeah. I don't know if I would go that far. I think that there are things to like about the Monster Arts, but when the Hiya is a quarter of the price, like what do you do? What do you do, right? Like the Hiya has a pearlescence to it. I think the Monster Arts is a much nicer pearlescence to it. I like the way that the spikes look on the Monster Arts more than the Hiya. I like that the Monster Arts, they're translucent, whereas they're painted on the Hiya. So there are things to like about it. It's just the lowest common denominator is the price, and one is 4 times the cost of the other, and they're the same size.
Yeah.
Most people are not going to care about the smaller, subtler things that Monster Arts does better at that point.
No.
Now, I like to call this one the Cool Ranch Godzilla, the Pop Rocks.
This is the Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. You know what? Funny enough, it fits in right with that Pacific Rim aesthetic of just Godzilla Energized. I think it looks great. Baja Blast Godzilla. I'm a sucker for translucence.
This is the one when I posted about it. This is where I started seeing a little bit of burnout from consumers by Hiya, because I remember posting this thing, and every reply to it on both Instagram and Facebook was like, "What are we doing here? Like, how many versions of this figure do we really need? I just got the hard pass. Like, I don't like. Come on, I have like 5 versions of this figure already. How much are you guys going to milk it?"
Sorry to interject. At the time, people are constantly complaining about SH Monster Arts doing that. And then like Bahaya's doing it.
Yeah. And to be fair, they give Monster Arts the same amount of crap for it too. So it's not just throwing shade on Hiya. They're just like, how many times are you going to make me double dip, triple dip on figures? Like, I get it. Like, some of you missed out on stuff, but to be like, I'm not, and this is not me throwing shade on Hiya, but there is a part of me that's like, I think you're wringing a little too much out of that cow at this point. I think this is the part where it's like, maybe we can curtail back just a little bit. Like, one, variant is cool, but this is what, variant 3, 4 of this particular figure now.
Yeah, and you know what? There was something off about that figure too. The spines. I think there was like some kind of manufacturing defect, because on mine the spines were smaller. Like they were noticeably smaller, and I pointed that out in my review, and then I messaged Hiya, hey, what's going on with this? Is this meant on purpose? Because like the spines are noticeably different. They're smaller.
Interesting.
And they're like, oh, sorry. We'll inform the factory and things. Sorry about that or whatever. But I don't know to this day if other people have that issue or if it's just mine. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's everybody.
It's everybody. Okay.
Every unit had that issue. Yeah. To speak to Chris's point, very valid, right? Like, I think at the time this was the 8th use of the legendary mold. I could be wrong. And if you were, all in on collecting this line, like, this is like 30% of your collection's Godzilla, if not more at this point. Now, for someone like me, like, I was very happy with that first figure. I never picked up the 19. I never picked up the 19, the 21 2.0. I never picked up the pre-evolved because I was always happy. But this one was like a funky colorway. I liked how it looked in the movie. It had the black light effect. It was the translucent. I was there for it. I really liked it. I have it on my shelf. I think it's still a great figure. And I think this was the first one to come with fists. Like, he has more closed hands.
Yes.
And I just think this was a great example of like, look, like, not every release needs to be for you.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, oh, they're trying to ring me for more money, I think the healthier perspective is to be like, thank goodness I can save money on this release and either use it toward something else more important or save it for the release that I actually do care about. Like, let the folks like me who are actually really into it go and pick it up, and just save your dough, save your bread for the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
If I might interject a little bit on that mentality, because I was a big Masters of the Universe collector back in the early 2000s. I collected that 2000 line. I loved that.
I had that He-Man one. Yeah, that's the only one that I ever had. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that was the death of that line, was that everyone wanted we wanted the Masters. We wanted Skeletor's minions, but every wave they were insistent, no, you need Snake Armor He-Man. You need Samurai Skeletor. You need Surf's Up He-Man. You need Hang Loose Skeletor. And they just became peg warmers. Now, on the upside to Hiya is that these things are mainly sold through like comic book stores or online. So they don't have exactly that issue, but you do run into that mentality of like, okay, like it's another and another. And I have to think that if you're making a figure and not a lot of people are buying it, that is affecting the bottom line of the company's profitability. So it's a choice. I understand why they're making it, but because you're trying to squeeze as much, as much juice out of that lemon as you can, but there does come a point where it's like it's not going to give, and your lemonade is just going to be all water. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And maybe it's possible that they hit that wall because I believe this is the last mainline release of that mold to this date. Well, we have one more, the event exclusive that we'll talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
You're correct.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it. It was like, okay, people are spent on this this one.
Yeah. This one, I think, this is sick. This one caught my attention immediately. This next one, it is number 10, the Skullcrawler from Godzilla versus Kong, right? Yes.
Yeah. I think this was one that I think people were well attuned to Hiya's practice of let's get a repaint out. And I think that this was one people were like, yeah, we think that this is a reasonable one to expect. I think what people did not expect was that it would now come with an accessory with the interchangeable tongue, and that it would actually have a change to the engineering to address
jaw.
Yes, because the previous one had the rubber membrane, and I actually prefer the rubber membrane, but I know that material is going to break at some point. And then for some people, it broke very quickly. So Hiya said, okay, no, we're going to change how that works. And I don't think it's on it's not on the list here, but Hiya later reissued the Skull Island version using that new engineering. So if you got the reissue later, you had the one with the corrected, well, not corrected, but like the upgraded, the changed design.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot to like about this figure. I like that its texture was the finish was different than the Skull Island. Skull Island was much more matte and dry, whereas number 10 feels wet. When you hold it, it feels like something that just came out of an egg or something. It was kind of gross. Felt a little bit like Alien in that aspect. So yeah, I really liked number 10. I thought it was a standout release. It had the improved neck articulation as well. I forgot about that because the previous Skullcrawler couldn't look down. So they changed this one to make it so that I could look down. So I don't know if it was a super popular release, but I think this was like something to add to Hiya's, like adding a notch to Hiya's belt when it came to like customer feedback and reception of like, no, we are listening and we want to get this stuff out. Yeah. Harold, what was your experience with this figure?
Like as you said, you know what I mean? Like I like the first one too. I didn't have an issue with the rubber membrane. Like, but when I started seeing that, oh, mine's breaking, I go, what? I picked up mine. I go, no, mine's fine. I don't understand. You know what I mean? But then when they reissued number 10 and they gave him that slimy look and things like, oh, this is so cool. Yes. And then like, they did all the refinements and stuff like that. Yeah, this looks nicer, and it's nice that this was an obvious thing that they were going to do because it's the exact same mold. You know what I mean? So it only made sense. Yeah. So
this is one of their finest. It's one of my absolute favorite figures they've ever done. Like when I opened this thing up, I was kind of expecting like it's a Skullcrawler. How cool could it be? But the engineering is astonishing.
Yeah, the engineering of it and things. It's just a fun figure to play around with. I mean, I got 12 of them, so yeah.
I love the promo picture on this next one. It's Kong from Godzilla versus Kong. Just chill monkey. Just not much. It's just Kong with a beard. It's all it is. It's just Kong with a beard. Anything special about this guy?
Well, GXK Kong was brand new brand new skull,
Oh my
brand new
God.
articulation scheme.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I messed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
Yes.
this was a big deal.
This
Yeah,
was a big
sorry.
deal. This is a screen accurate Kong. This is what
Right.
people wanted.
My fault.
Yes.
No, but the thing though, I mean, I was very excited for this one. I still love this figure to death. But as soon as I got this guy in hand, actually, I was watching God's Box review on it first, right? Because he got it before I did. And while I'm watching him, and he's trying to get his figure to stand, he's having a hard time keeping this guy upright. So he's having him squat down just to keep him standing. I was like, whoa, that made my ears stand, you know? So I messaged him right away. I go, hey, were you having a hard time getting this figure to stand upright? He goes, yeah, it keeps falling over. And I was like, oh, shit, right? And Rob, he got that figure before I did too. And in his review, same thing. It was falling over, right? And then when I got mine in hand, I kept examining it. What the heck's wrong with this thing, right? So what I discovered and I relay to everybody is that, in normal with figures, humanoid figures, normally we have a tendency to make them stand with their feet, parallel like a normal human being, right? But in regards to Kong, he's an animal, you know what I mean? He stands like this. So if you turn the feet outward in things, you can get him to balance himself a little bit better, and that's what solved that. You know what I mean? But other than great figure overall, it's still, to me, they still didn't deliver on the butterfly joint. Like what they did was that they added that flap here that it looks like a butterfly joint, but it's not a butterfly joint because it's still fixed. You know what I mean? It's there. Like if you raise his arms up, like there's no plastic there that gets in the way of the arm to do that. Okay, so that was an improvement that they made from the other Kong, because like when in the other Kong, the one before this one, like you just couldn't get those movements. And I told Hiya, I go, hey, like you know what I mean? Like if I get him to raise his arms up, like I can't even get him to touch his own head. That's a big problem, I think.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And with this one you can, but again, still you can't get him to touch his other side. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So that was one of the issues with that figure. But that balancing issue was clearly an issue with it, and there was a particular content creator out there trying to gaslight everybody that it wasn't a problem.
To be fair, Playmates had the exact same issue. Got the 6-inch Kong, which I still think is of a kid's line is one of the best figures they've ever done. But it had that exact same issue. If you stood him upright, he would just face plant. You had to get him in a little, like the feet on, like that turn was the balance for the rest of the body. And then you can kind of get him to do whatever crazy pose you wanted.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I remember when Rob got it in hand, because Rob actually got it before Harold and I. It was it's a very rare thing to happen.
Yeah, their logistics is weird sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I'm next door to them, and Rob gets it first. I was like,
yeah. And Kong was actually the first product in my partnership with Hiya. But Rob's whole point was it's a figure that is easier to balance on 1 foot than 2 feet, which is completely backwards. But I remember Harold's words of advice in the group chat. It was, don't pose him like a human, pose him like a gorilla. He's like, splay the feet. Like that's how he stands. And once I did that, I was like, oh yeah, like this is way easier. Like I can pick him up, just plop him down, and he balances fine. It was clearly enough of an issue that Hiya went on to correct it in a future revision. Sort of. I think it's a little bit better. Yeah. But this is also the first Hiya Toys figure, I believe. Now I'm second guessing myself, to utilize glass eyes.
Oh no, it's the first one. Yeah, it is.
I really like how it looks. Mm-hmm. I think that Kong's design, the eyes are really recessed into the head, so it's hard for them to catch light to really stand out. Yeah. But if you have it in front of you, it looks really cool. And we haven't seen it yet in any of their other newer figures, and I really hope that they do, because it's a really cool effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nanmu Studios, they're doing that with their dinosaur figures. Like there's like some kind of eye tracking. Like if you move the figure, like it looks like it's still looking at you or something like that.
Yes.
I don't know. I have to get that in hand to see, but I'm curious to see how that looks. It's like this fucking thing is looking at me. It's like, all right, this is supposed to be not alive, right? Yeah.
Our next guy is the 2014 Godzilla Heat Ray. This one had an improvement, correct? Over
Yes.
Yes. What was the improvement?
The teeth. The teeth was a clear improvement, you know, and just the overall paint scheme was an improvement too. I don't know. I like the paint scheme better on this, but like the teeth were, the head on it was different, and if I recall, I don't know. I have to look back at my my review, but it was an improvement. Sculpt wise, I think it was a minor improvement. Yeah.
It actually looks closer to the promo material than anything else. Like the promo material, like not from the movie, but like the stuff that they would, they slap on the side of like for the toy displays and stuff. It looks more like that. So I maybe that's what they were pulling from for the slight upgrades.
This is we're talking about the Heat Ray G14, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My biggest issue with this figure, and I to this day I still see people posting on Reddit about it, is that they changed the way the head port works.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It does not want to cooperate nearly as well as the first version. It pops out all the time, and then you have like the weight of the Heat Ray just makes it want to fall off. I don't like this release. Like straight up, I have it on my shelf. I'm never gonna touch it. I'm not a fan.
Well, with this one, like, yes, you are right, and like, the slight movement, it pops off the head, right? So like, what I'm forced to do is like, as I'm moving the head, I'm also pushing the head inward so I can, I can turn the head. That's the thing with this one too. So I don't know. I mean, it is a great looking figure and things, but like, it's a slightly smaller, so like, I don't know, maybe the engineering of it is like a little bit more complex because it's smaller. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, but it is what it is.
Our next figure, going back to a little bit of monoculture in the community, I remember watching Kyle's coverage of trying to get a hold of this next figure, talking about the Shanghai exclusive Burning Godzilla.
Yes.
Let's talk about what's going on here.
Okay. This was the Burning Godzilla that I have been wanting. Okay, but it was impossible to get. Okay, I asked Hiya, hey, are you going to be sending this out my way for review? Oh, I'm sorry, we're just keeping it as con exclusive. And like, I was like, okay, thank you very much. Right, that's all I could say. And then I head up my friends over at Kaiju Toy. I go, guys, can you please get this? Can you please get this for me? And I'm so blessed. They were nice enough to go all the way there because it was in Shanghai. It's like right next door to them. They got one for me, and that's how I was able to get my hands on one. But then once I got this in hand, I was like, oh my God, it's so unfortunate that people don't have access to this figure, because everything I said what they should do with the Burning Godzilla, they fucking put on that figure. It looks like the Spyro Studios paint scheme, which is what I wanted, and they put it on this figure, but it's like nearly impossible to get, So I was like, oh God, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And it came with battle damaged parts.
Parts for Ghidorah, but that's only for that gold Ghidorah. For that gold
Gravity
Ghidorah.
beam.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for the other ones.
No, because the Heat Ray, the Gravity Beam version had new engineering, right? In the necks.
Yes, I think. Yes. I think that's what it was. Yeah,
I think slightly, at least at the bases, it was new engineering, and the first one was never meant to come apart.
No.
The first one was never meant to be to come apart in the same way that the gravity beam one was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while Harold was working with Kaukus, I was working at the time with INS Hobby, who were great partners, and they solicited this release. And at the time, like, I was promoting it, and then the information came out that it was a Shanghai exclusive, and so I emailed them. I was like, "Hey, like, you guys know this is an event exclusive," and they were like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And then more time went on, and I think it was like a week or two later, I was like, I'm just gonna double check, because like I'm promoting this thing like per our agreement, like you're gonna get it. And they were like, yes, we hear you, we understand, and don't worry about it. And sure enough, they got to Wonderfest, and they somehow procured a whole bunch of these units, and were able to they fulfilled, I think, like 75 or 80% of the orders that they got. So they did have to refund some people, unfortunately, but like they got a lot out there, and at a fairly reasonable price. I think it was like $100 plus shipping, which, you know, is cheaper than a flight to China. And yeah, they were able to do that. And then I don't know how long it was, Harold. Was it like 6 or 8 months later Hiya announced that they would sell it direct?
Oh, that was a fiasco in itself, because there's a ton of people that never got it.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate. This one was a, you know, because it's a Godzilla that we see on screen. You know what I mean? It's not like this is a special green variant of the legend. You know what I mean? So it's not like an ascent. Like, this is an ascent. Like, if you're collecting and you want a Godzilla from that movie, this is an essential collectible to have, right? Okay, but they made it exclusive, so that's not fair to everybody else. You know what I mean? But like, if this was like a green or like a purple one, let's say, or whatever, you know what I mean? A non-essential figure,
Like stylized,
you know, to have a stylized, then
yeah,
it'd be fine. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, sure. It's a, you know, get it if you want or whatever. You know what I mean? But like, it's not an essential thing, like, for those people that want to have one. But this is in the movie. You know what I mean? So like, yeah.
And not only that, like, you twist the knife a little more, you now have accessories for a separate figure.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get this one, but you're not going to be able to unlock the potential of your other figure you own unless you get this one. Yeah. I totally agree with Harold on this one. Last year when I talked to Hiya Toys, they were asking me about the idea of a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And I said, if you're going to do it, I think it would be cool, and it would be a cool opportunity to get like some unique recolors out there or whatever.
Yeah, different colorways for sure.
Yeah.
Know.
I said it's normal practice to allocate some inventory online. And they were like, really? I said, yeah, like Super 7 does it, Monster Arts does it, like this is a normal thing. But I said, no matter what you decide to do, you need to communicate it to people. I said, because this burning Godzilla, if people had known that it was going to be available direct, they wouldn't have shelled out $100, $200 in some cases to get it on eBay because they felt like they needed it. They would have waited for that direct sale. So I said, whatever you decide to do, you need to tell people. You need to tell people either it's one chance to dance or it'll be online or whatever. So they haven't committed to any kind of event exclusives since this one. Probably because they got burned on it a little bit.
Look, I've been doing the con game for a long time, and as someone who back in the day did this, both getting figures for friends and doing a little flipping on a couple of figures I didn't want, but this is paying for my trip.
Yeah.
I'm a little old school of like, this is part of what made these shows kind of special. Now, I get the complaints because there's been many shows I could not go to that had exclusives that I wanted, but I understood, like, well, I don't have, $400 to fly to New York, spend another $200 to get a ticket, and then go stand in line for the possible chance of getting one. But that is part and parcel of the deal if you can get into the show. The complaints of like, well, that's not fair. I'm like, that's I'm sorry, but that's not fair. That is part of the thing. Like, show exclusives used to be a very big deal. They've quietly died off since the advent of the internet, and now there is this, we expect, you guys to put some stuff online. It all started with Hasbro selling stock that they could not get rid of because, like, how many Luke Skywalkers at Comic-Con every year are you guys going to shell out for us? Yeah. Now, look, I'll say this. I think show exclusives should remain show exclusives. If you cannot get them, then tough titty. I'm sorry. If you really want it that bad, then if there's some aftermarket guy, the seller, the companies in question probably should need to limit. Make sure that you're not, because I ran into this with Skeletor this year. I wanted weightlifting Skeletor.
Oh, I wanted that one too.
And they were not limiting the figures. There was one guy that bought like 6 figures. I got Wednesday night, 7:00, the end of the Mattel booth. I'm like, there's no way I'm not getting that figure. And by the time I got there, it was already sold out. I'm like, what the hell? And they're like, yeah, we didn't put a cap on those. I'm like, but you put a cap on the stupid K-pop Demon Hunter, goth dolls. But Skeletor, they're like, yeah, no, we didn't think it was going to be that popular. I'm like, God damn it. All right.
Yeah.
It is frustrating, but it is the whole thing. People, I've had people yell at me when I sold off some of my, because one year I did Tamashi and I got the Dragon Ball figures. And one guy screamed at me. He's like, how dare you sell this Brawly for $300? I'm like, hey, man, it's going for like $400. They're like, yeah, but that's not what you paid for it. I'm like, I paid to come to Comic-Con. I paid for my hotel room. I took up time to get in line. Like, that's all going into the cost of this thing. So you can do the same thing. You can scramble for a badge and everything, but this is my version of reimbursing my trip so I can get my little Dragonzord figure here. So I don't agree with the internet's, there is something of like, now now that the fandom demands it, like, oh, it's special for this, but we're all going to get. I'm like, no. You got to go to the show. You got to put the money down. You're going to have to put it up. And I'm sorry, not everyone gets everything. And that's also part of the thing of being a collector. In a weird, morbid way, it is your trophy room. Yeah. And sometimes you get the big game.
So I'm not too far away from where you are with this, Chris. I think the sticking point for me is if all of a sudden that show exclusive is now online with no prior notice or info or anything. That would kill me. That would drive me nuts. And so that's what when I told him, I said, whatever you do, just make sure people know, right? Like if it's only going to be there, then it's only going to be there. Fine. But at least now I know that I'm going to have to go on eBay or ask a friend or whatever, rather than just wait 8 months and see it come direct.
I completely agree with you. Like it, at least now, because again, Hasbro was the first one to do this stuff. They just threw that stuff up there like a week later.
Yeah. And
there was it wasn't everything because stuff did legitimately sell out, but people were furious. They were absolutely furious. Like, yeah, the flippers, which, you take that risk, unfortunately, if that's the game you're playing. But, hey, guess what? You also took away something for someone that might have actually wanted it to keep it. So you don't get to bitch and moan either. I'll give Super 7 all the credit in the world because they at least tell you, hey, whatever doesn't sell out at the show, the rest of the stock, we're not making new stock, that will be available a week later when we all get back home and get everything broken down. But that stuff usually also goes pretty quick too. Yeah. So there is clarity. I completely agree with you. At least be clear with what the intention is.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the real Godzilla X Kong. Let's talk about Beast of Kong.
Oh man.
Listen, guys, I understand that you would have to buy another Kong for the beast, for the glove, and to buy this Kong. I understand this, but let's just put all that aside for a second and let's talk about how sick this Kong is.
It's incredible.
It's Kong with a beast glove. I mean,
this
is the heat ray version of Kong. If you,
this is Kong heat ray version.
What's beautiful about this figure is the extra engineering that they took to make to put in that beast glove, the flaps moving, the gears moving as you move his arm and things. I mean, they didn't have to do that, but they did.
Yep.
And that screen accuracy again. I mean, my God. I mean, this is, you want a beast glove Kong, this is the one to get. You know what I mean? So it's incredible.
Totally. It does make his arm heavier.
It does.
And that just adds more balancing issues to a figure that has balancing issues. So on my display, I've got him like arm right up, roaring at the sky, because that sort of centralizes the weight and makes it easier to display. When folks ask me, or previously, because it's been a while, if they should get either the normal Kong from the movie or Beast Glove, I say Beast Glove, because the chances are you're going to get a new Axe Kong for the next movie, or at some point. My money's on Beast Glove, because it's a really cool figure, man. I'm a sucker for like Thanos type figures where there's like one stronger arm, and this is that figure.
These next batch of figures, my timeline might be this next batch of figures are the ones that premiered or got shown off at Comic-Con last year, correct?
Yes.
Starting with Skarking. Skarking wasn't shown off, or was it at Con?
Or was shown off. Yeah,
the prototype was shown off, but it was not solicited.
Correct. So this is I want to call like the 3.0 of Hiya. This is where Hiya's really
picking up its stride.
Yeah.
Totally.
With Skarking, let's talk about Monkey Trouble, man.
Man. Kyle, you go ahead, because you got a chance to see that figure in person.
Yes, totally. The figure looked great. It's much more screen accurate than the monster arts. The scaling is proper. The whip slash looks fantastic. The articulation, from what I remember, looks very it looks synonymous with the Kong. Like it's the same sort of scheme, just fitting Scar King's body rather than Kong's. It's a great looking figure. I only have one criticism of it, and I share it with Harold, but I'll let Harold give his thoughts on the figure.
First, I can't wait to get this figure in hand.
And it's on the way. It's on the way.
It's on the way. Like when I got that SH Monster Arts, like I mean, like that Scar King character, I really like him because he's such a bad guy. You just want to see him get his up and comings, you know.
He's the rare. That movie doesn't have a human bad guy. The monster is the bad guy.
Bad guy, yes, yes. You know, like I remember, like when they teased the first teaser, another monkey. I'm like, yeah, Kong doesn't have an arch nemesis. He's never had an arch nemesis.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is Arian's gotten an ass full of this for me. I'm like, here's the thing you can do with Kong. Give him a goddamn rogues gallery.
Yeah.
That's the one thing he fights dinosaurs.
He doesn't have a rogues gallery like Godzilla does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys,
and they were doing the thing finally.
This one time I was at the gym and I got a phone call from Chris telling me, it's like, you know what Kong needs? I'm just like, what, Chris? He needs an arch nemesis. I'm like, right now you're my arch nemesis. Oh.
He's just imagining me pacing around my room on my cell phone, like, listen.
Just doing this a lot. Ah.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I got that SH Monster Arts, I mean, clearly it was like an early concept or whatever. You know, like, we know how Monster Arts works. Like they, you know, as they're working on the figure, they're probably making changes to the movie itself and things. You know what I mean? So like when the final product comes, it's like, you know, but it was good for what it was, you know. But this Hiya Scar King, the only thing that I would say, I think it's because it's a licensing issue. The eyes aren't accurately colored. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's an essential thing that, you know, of the identity of this character, you know?
No, Harold, there was one other thing.
What was it?
He needs an evil face, like a
Oh
shitty
yes,
grin.
yes, an evil face. That's right. Yes, an
Yeah.
evil face because he looked like a male model. I told
Mhm.
Yeah,
I told Hiya, I go, yeah, give him an evil face because he's just like, I go,
Yeah.
he looks like a male model. Don't fucking put that one on. You know what I mean? Like he needs an evil face. Yeah.
yes.
So yeah.
All right, now this next guy. Let's talk about Scylla. Surprised that they're going to do Scylla. Scylla.
I say Skilla,
Scylla. Okay.
Whatever. Scylla, Skilla, tomato,
Scylla.
tomato.
tomato.
Yeah.
Such a minor character that gets less than 2 minutes of screen time,
Yeah.
and there's so
Combined
much
in the
going
two
on.
movies that
There's so much going on here, where I'm like, wow, Hiya really went above and beyond on this.
It's too perfect. It's too accurate to the point where like it's just
It's a detriment to itself.
Oh,
exactly.
no.
Yes. It's
Yes.
a detriment to itself because you have these 6 limbs and you think that it should move like a spider. You could get it crawling up like in these really cool poses, but you can't. As soon as you move you pose the legs, it comes back to its neutral position because that membrane there
It always
keeps
pulls it back.
It pulls it back, so it becomes unposable. Unfortunately,
Bummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bummer.
The sculpted detail is fantastic. The paint
Fantastic.
apps are fantastic. It's just it takes the action out of action figure. It might as well have been a stylist.
Yeah, totally. And
Oh,
it really needed a stand. They should have
Yes.
put like that little stand like underneath it and things
Yep.
because like it just goes. It just.
And I
keeps
asked
doing
them
that.
about that at San Diego. I was like, hey, like the one you have out here looks like it's having a hard time. Is it gonna have a stand? And they were like, no stand. Okay. So funny story about Skilla though. This is one. I don't know if any of you remember this. I was the one that reported this figure because Entertainment Earth put up the pre-order before Hiya announced it on socials. And so I woke up at like 4 a.m. I saw it. I saw nobody was talking about it. And I got out of bed. I got down to my computer and I recorded a video basically being like, I think that this is new. But nobody's talking about it.
Well, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And like it got a whole bunch of traction and people were tweeting about it. And I got a tweet from somebody in China after I posted the YouTube link. And they tweeted at me saying like, it's not good to make up things because it wasn't posted in China yet. I was like, dude, I didn't make it up. Like, there it is. So that was a really funny moment in my content creation timeline of like, I was the one that broke skill, or at least was like, hey, Entertainment Earth's got this listing, but Hiya hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tiamat.
Yeah, so Tiamat was revealed at the same time San Diego last year. It was a resin prototype. It wasn't even articulated yet. And when I asked them about it, they said we haven't decided if it was going to be articulated or bendy wire. And I remember that being a sticking point in my YouTube interview because basically all the comments were like, it's got to be articulated. Please don't use bendy wire. Please don't use bendy wire. And then they didn't. So I think she's due Q1 27, I think. That sounds right. We got a chance to look at her, like the Paint Master at San Diego this past month.
Look good.
Yeah, she looks great. And you know, it's kind of like Behemoth in the sense that there are details on the toy that you'll never get to appreciate in the movie because either it's blink and you miss it or just because she's not in the movie for very long. And when the toy can make you appreciate the movie design better, I feel like that's when it really succeeds. So I'm looking forward to Tiamat. She's gonna be a very long figure. She comes with 2 display stands, presumably 2 of the new display stands that they debuted with Monster X, which I think are way better. I think that they're yeah.
Sorry,
So
I
it'll be
interrupted. Oh, go ahead.
So it'll be for toy photography. It'll be pretty interesting. I'll be like the ideas that I have for Amanda. I'll just switch it out for a Tiamat. So
Very
that'll
cool.
be my. Yeah.
Kyle, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing else. I'm really looking forward to Tiamat. I think she's a really cool design. She doesn't do much in the movie, admittedly, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of looking forward to, I think everybody, again, let's talk about monoculture in the fandom, and monoculture in the community. Everyone's looking forward to Behemoth. Doesn't matter who you are. This is the glup shitto that you want.
The glup shitto. I love it.
Behemoth is not out yet, correct?
No, I have it.
You have it. Okay.
I have it. Yeah. Okay. My review's already up on. It's been up for about a month.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly new. Fairly new. This is sick. This is amazing. I'm happy they got to this.
Yes.
This is another one of those figures. Like, this is the Behemoth. There's no other Behemoth.
It's a fun figure. It's a really fun figure. It's colored very beautifully and things, and like you get to appreciate the details on the figure that you just don't get to see on the screen because you just blink and you miss him, right? But it's so good that that this character is finally in hand, and but I don't know what they'll do for like a second re-release of this figure. Maybe put more vines on it or a broken tusk. I don't know. I have no idea what they'll do.
This character is the Boba Fett of the Monsterverse at this point. You guys are sitting on money with this guy, and you're not doing anything with him. Like, he's clearly the fan favorite. He's got one of the. It's the Monsterverse version of what Toho does. You take something that looks, that's in nature, and you just zhuzh it up a little bit, and you immediately know what it is, but you also know it's awesome.
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Yes. And he's not imaginary either.
No.
Yeah. Like, I never knew that Behemoth had a mouth. Like,
he's got a mouth. Yeah.
I never knew it until I saw the figure that he had a mouth.
Yeah.
To Harold's point, I don't think that this is going to be one where they do a repaint. I just there's nothing to be done. There are a small handful of figures that Hiya has not recolored. Like KSI Kong is one of them. Actually, the first Godzilla versus Kong, they've never repainted.
No.
They may reissue him later, like just a straight reissue.
Yeah.
Maybe as their audience gets larger, but I don't think that they'll do a repaint. I don't think there's anything to be done unless he shows up in a movie. Maybe he shows up in Supernova. Who knows?
Maybe that spin-off that they're doing right now.
Or unless they do like the comic book version, because in the comic book, he fights Amulek and he gets his tusk broken off.
Hey, if they did an Amulek to match it, that would be dope.
Yeah.
This next one, when I first saw this picture, this promo image, I thought it was a screenshot from the movie, but no, this is the Hiya Toys Warbat.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Look, I remember Kyle. Like, wait a minute, he's upside down. I remember all this.
Yeah.
And this is Kyle. You're the first person to see this. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. So it's exactly that. I did my video, and in the video, if you look hard enough, you can notice that he's upside down. But I was like, in the moment, I was like super like jittery and everything. But afterward, I was looking at it. I was like, you guys know he's upside down, right? And Freya was like, what? I said, yeah, like, look, his jaw, like, you could say he's upside down. And she just like stood there and laughed, and then they reposed it and got it there. And since then they lengthened the tail. The tail was actually not that long when it first debuted. But I think what shocked people about this was the price tag, because I think he's coming in at $80 pre-tariff, I think. And I want people to know, like, this Warbat is big. He is a big figure, and people are like, "Oh, well, he's just long." And, like, or he's thin. He's a thin character. Thin doesn't matter. Like, you could say Ghidorah is thin, and then the wings are whatever, right? Like, he's going to occupy a lot of space.
I'm
And-
sorry, guys. I'm just gonna walk up. I just gotta get a tissue. Okay, just keep talking. Yeah.
And the thing is, so yeah, like he's going to be a large figure, and for some of the folks who are really into the Monsterverse, like you can't just have one Warbat, you need two.
Yes.
And so the shelf presence these guys are going to have is going to be insane. They come with 2 display stands because you're going to need them. When they were first shown off, Hiya told me that they were going to be all bendy wire, and they've since changed it. It's going to be a combination of segments and bendy wire. So yeah, Warbat I'm actually pretty excited for, because it's a pretty unique character design, but also the shelf presence is going to be crazy.
Oh,
It's also
speaking
the-
of shelves, I got rid of a freezer down here in my school, and I got permission from my wife to put up another shelf to put my my prop stuff. So I have more stuff now to put my figures in my room. Just to let you know, Kyle. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't need another home yet, not yet. So
All
We,
right.
we all can't be
let's,
Guillermo
go
del
ahead.
Toro.
yeah.
So remember that Ghidorah we were talking about earlier? There's no way they can improve that, right? Boy, did they. Let's talk about 2.0 Ghidorah. This is the first
man.
2.0 officially, yes?
The first 2.0, yes.
Yes. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, better, but I still wish that. I think it's just the design of Ghidorah that just won't let you get more, like, like if you look at the 91 Ghidorah, the necks, my God,
Yeah.
those necks are so posable. You know what I mean? Like you can intertwine those necks. You know what I mean? And things, but you can't really do the same with this Ghidorah, even the 2.0. Because I think it's just designed the way, I don't know, the way they have to try and engineer it. It is better, but it's still not on the level as Ghidorah 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, looks great. No complaints here. I mean, obviously, I don't own it, but if it is anything like the 91 Ghidorah, then I guess that's the only small complaint I can give to it. I really complain about something I don't have. But
Well, I guess the one complaint to have is, like, if you own the first one, great. If you got the second one because you wanted the gravity beams, okay. And now there's this third one that's like objectively better than the first two, and then it has the beams as well.
Yeah.
I could understand if it feels like it's punishing Hiya's most loyal customer. It's like the person who gets everything. There's now this third $100+ release that it is just strictly better than the previous two. I think that that's a fair issue to have. I think that if they had maybe better spaced it out, it wouldn't have been as big of an issue. You space it out, like you provide opportunity for people who are new to the line, but it's like this thing came out like a year and a half after the last one. I don't think that that's long, and it was announced like maybe 6 months after the second one, right? So it's like it's not. It hasn't been long enough to marinate, or for people to think like I've been able to enjoy this one without needing to worry about a future one. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to the best 2-pack in the series. Let's talk about Zuko and Mothra. This is go ahead.
Go ahead, Ari. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, you get Zuko. This is the only way you get Zuko, correct?
Yeah. At this time.
Yeah, for Hiya, yes. I mean, Monster Arts already has their Zuko.
And you get Mothra.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which I think was packaged the same way too, wasn't it? Mothra
it's packaged the same way. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But what's exciting about this pack? Yes, Zuko, but with Mothra.
Yeah.
This will be the first Mothra that has bendy wire wings.
Yes.
Because the other ones don't have it. And I'm very looking forward to that one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and this paints or paves the way for another 2.0. You can do a 2.0 of 2019 Mothra. Maybe an Emerald if they're feeling particularly, risky.
I want to see a battle damage wings Mothra.
Ooh,
In-
I like that idea.
For her battle with Rodan.
Like in King of the Monsters, you know, like she's standing on Godzilla before she flies to
Yes.
King Ghidorah. Like her wings are all tethered and things like that. I want a Mothra like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting.
Mhm.
And then if you followed my suggestion and got Beast Glove Kong instead of Axe Kong, Suko also comes with an axe, so
Yes.
Yeah.
you can complete it. Complete your definitive Kong from New Empire.
Mm.
Yeah.
There is one little complaint about between the Kong and the Beast Glove Kong is that, you know, you're essentially, you know, in terms of like the head sculpts, you're getting the exact same head sculpts all over again. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
it would
totally.
have been nice that if they changed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So like more expressions. You know what I mean? Like the sad expression or a happy expression, because Kong emotes those in the movie. You know what I mean? So like, but we don't get that. You know what I mean? So like, we have like all these extra accessories sitting somewhere in our drawers that's just not being used. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's the thing. Yeah.
This next release, I believe, is lopsided
Okay.
because this next release, I think the accessories are bigger than the figure itself. You get the figure you're buying. Let's be real. You're buying a Mechagodzilla head, and it just happens to come with a 2.0 Kong.
Yeah.
This kind of felt
Yeah.
like how do I put this kindly? This kind of felt like you know, we're sticking it to SH a little bit because this was SH's Comic-Con exclusive 3 years ago, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah.
And unfortunately no one bought it. This thing ended up on Target shelves.
Really?
Yes, when they made the deal with Target and they started bringing the figure arts like the Dragon Balls and stuff, I remember going to my local Target. I'm like, I am not looking at the Comic-Con Kong, and it was $55, and it was every accessory was in there, and that was the main sell point. Like, get this, and you can get the cool pose of him holding Mechagodzilla's head, which I didn't even think they had even begun announcing a Mechagodzilla at that point on the Monster Art side, and there was 20 of them there, and they sat there for months.
Oof.
No one wanted this thing.
Wow.
So
I got that one, but I didn't make the review because by the time I got it in hands, other people have already done reviews. I was like, oh well. Yeah.
Yeah. So as for Kong 2.0, this is a redo of their very first Kong, which is appreciated. It comes with the Mechagodzilla head. It's our first look at Mechagodzilla. But with this one, they improved the ankles.
Yes.
The one that many people were struggling with and others were gaslighting everyone else into saying that there weren't an issue. Hiya said, no. We're going to improve the articulation and the flexibility in the ankles, which was very well appreciated.
Yes.
The head sculpts are, in fact, unique molds. They are not direct copies of the New Empire ones, but they are damn close. They are very, very similar.
See, for me, it's so hard for me to spot those details. To me, they look the same. Yeah.
Yeah, the beard is slightly shorter. That's the only tell, really. For the most part, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one I think most people didn't care about too much. But for some folks, they preferred Kong's appearance in GVK to his appearance in the New Empire. So this was a very welcome addition, and I'm really stoked for those people that they were able to get the Kong that they have been waiting for.
Yeah.
That's the most politically moderate way of phrasing that too. I applaud you.
I work in a very politically charged environment, so I know how to I know how to be diplomatic.
Yeah. Now let's bring it as of right now, as of this recording. I know there's a couple more that have been announced, but the last one on today's list is the MUTO 2-pack, the second best 2-pack in the whole series so far.
I saw some complaints with this already.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Yes, because this was announced what, a month and a half ago now, 2 months.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, they're finally doing the male MUTO, and they're pulling a page right out of Bandai, doing that 2-pack, because it honestly makes sense. But I saw so many people that are like, I just got the female MUTO. Basically, the complaint of, you're making me get a secondary figure of a figure I'm pretty cool with already, just needing one, just so I can get this guy, because I want the male. So there was a little bit of just some discontent that I saw at this announcement.
Yeah, and it's totally warranted, right? Like the idea that I have to buy. It's sort of like we were mentioning before, Chris, with like the MOTU variants. It's like, well, I have to get this other Skeletor, this other He-Man to get the thing. So I think that that's a completely fair criticism and a completely fair like feeling to have. What I will say is, what I feel is that if Hiya had a good business case to sell the male on its own, they would have done that.
Yeah.
Nobody's made an articulated male MUTO figure yet.
No.
Hiya's looking at this, and I'm sure they're looking at this like, how do we get this into people's hands? And they're like, maybe they looked at the sales of that first female MUTO and were like, I don't know if people are going to show up for just a male or whatever. I don't know, and there's probably flaws with that example, but this is like the first time that Hiya's really done something like this, and they haven't done it since, in the 8 solicitations they've made since then. I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt that if they could have done it on its own, they would have done it on its own.
Yeah. Because like you're getting interchangeable wings too, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
interchangeable wings, the missile accessory, a flight stand,
and these were at Comic-Con too. They were. Yep. I mean, the male MUTO looks stunning. Like it looks great. Looks nice. Yeah,
very well articulated. Again, those accessories rock.
Did the female? I'm sorry. Did the female original release have the egg sac painted?
No.
Okay,
no,
so that's the difference.
Yeah, that is new. The paint apps, I think she looks maybe a little bit darker to reflect like the nighttime environment. But it is largely the same. Like it's a direct repaint, right? There's no new tooling. But the male looks much more articulated, and I think you can see Hiya's flexing their improved design, especially in the 2019 MUTO, which is not on the list here. I don't know if we wanted to just cover that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, so yeah, I think the male looks great. I would love to believe. Actually, I said they never did this before. They did do it with Suko and Mothra, but in that one, you're getting 2 completely new engineered figures because Mothra is completely redone.
Yeah.
So they have kind of done it before. So I misspoke when I said that. Yeah, I would like to think that they would have done the male on its own with all those accessories, maybe sold it at $50, and I think people would have shown up for it. But for one reason or another, they were like, no, we're gonna do it with the female.
You know what they could have done probably? They should have thought of including the cocoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that would have worked.
Yeah.
Because that could have just been one solid molded figure.
Yeah, and then have the thing, and then that way, you know what I mean?
Yep. Especially if they knew they were gonna turn around and do the King of the Monsters MUTO, which
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because it's like completely redone and like it's got like head articulation this time too and things. So that's cool.
So let's talk about this. Not MUTO Prime. Is it called MUTO Prime?
No, the official name is just MUTO 2019.
Okay, here we go. 2019 MUTO. This is what you see at the very end of Godzilla 2019. I was surprised to see it on screen, and
it's the most Toho. It's the most Toho thing those movies have ever done. They're like, what? Instead of what suit do we have laying around we can throw in the shot? What computer assets do we have laying around that we don't have to build? Oh, we still got the MUTO. Let's throw her in there. No, absolutely zero explanation. Just there you go.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this design.
Yeah. So she is, for the most part, newly sculpted, newly engineered. There are some small pieces here and there that are borrowed from the first MUTO, like her rear feet are a 1-to-1. The middle segment of each of the rear legs appear to be borrowed. But even then, it's not super obvious to me. Like, they could be new. She has scars all over the place. She has unique geometry on the body compared to the female MUTO. And then the big thing is, like, she actually has head articulation separate from the rest, because the female MUTO is just sort of like a pivot. It just goes like this. It doesn't really freely move. But it looks like Barb here will be able to freely move her neck and head. I am astonished by how much new stuff they're including with this figure. I feel like they could have done so much more mold reuse, and the vast majority of people would have been completely understanding. But for the most part, this is a brand new sculpt.
It looks sick. I like
nice.
this version more than the 2014 version, just because of that extra mountain it's got in the back.
Extra mount, it's got those scars. I wouldn't be surprised to see them after she lands, and I'm assuming people are going to like it. I wouldn't be surprised if people start asking for Hiya to go back and redo the female.
Yeah, I mean, I got the pamphlet from Comic-Con. I mean, Hiya's clearly moving on to bigger things as well. I mean, they got the Attack on Titan license. They're doing Omnimusha.
I can't wait for that. That one too.
They're doing Monster Hunter, which I know a lot of people lost their mind over. Evil Dead, which I'm very curious about, because that could be good Evil Dead or new Evil Dead.
I've never been an Evil Dead fan, but I'd be curious.
There's no, if it's not Ash, I don't care about it. So that's my stance on Evil Dead. Yu-Gi-Oh, Overwatch, which I'm still kind of shocked Overwatch is a thing. But the two that are speaking to me, and Arian, I know, lost his mind on this. They're doing Ultraman, but they're not doing the Ultramen. They're doing the Kaiju in Ultraman.
Yeah.
And then for me, Starship Troopers, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw that Warrior Bug, and I'm just, I just glazed over. I'm like, oh God, there's so much potential here.
Hey man, we have a lot to go. We hope that you're with us the next time that we record. Thank you for joining us. For myself, Arian, my co-host Chris, and our two wonderful, beautiful, and talented guest hosts, Harold and Kyle. Harold and Kyle, where can we find you guys?
You can find me on YouTube at Figuremania Show, and on Instagram, Figuremania Show, and Blue Sky, Figuremania Show.
Yeah, and for me, you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram, Kaijucanuck. You should be able to find me.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for us here at the Kaiju Kingdom presents the Chronicles, Narnia, Koffers. We got to work on the name. We'll figure it out. But hey, man, thank you guys, and we'll see you at the toy aisle. Have a great night, guys.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Alrighty, take care.